again. I'm Ellen from Be So Creative, and I'm in the process of putting binding on a quilt. I'm doing it entirely with a machine. And in this video, I'm going to show you how I create the mitered corners as I attach my binding around the edge of my quilt. I am going to find that seam allowance that is fatter than 1/4 of an inch, skinnier than 3/8. It's about a 5/16 seam allowance. And I'm coming up to my first corner here, and my goal is to stop sewing so that my stopping point is exactly that seam allowance, whatever seam allowance I have here, which we decided was 5/16. I want to stop short of the end of my quilt that same amount. Now, I found that this can be difficult to see. Even if I mark it, I can put myself a mark and get pretty close. I can measure it, but I'll show you what I think is just the easiest way. As I get close, I want to stop with my needle in the down position. I'm now going to raise my presser foot, but leave my needle there, and I'm going to turn my project and just see where that is lining up. And I can see that that is way too far to the right. I need to take about 2 or 3 more stitches. I don't want to go too far, because even taking 1 stitch too far can make mitering that corner difficult. So I'm going to try 2 more stitches. 1, 2. I'm going to turn it again. And I see my mark right there. That's exactly where I want to be. And now I know I'm perfect. If you have to go 1 stitch at a time and turn your quilt and keep checking it, go ahead and do that. And if you have a hard time just sewing 1 stitch on your machine, you can certainly reach over here with the hand wheel, and you can manually turn the hand wheel towards you so that you advance 1 stitch at a time. Now that I have turned the corner, I want to go backwards. I'm going to actually back up and hit my reverse button and sew. It only takes about 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 stitches to get off the back of your quilt. I'm still going to leave my needle down, but I am going to raise my presser foot. That way the tension is released on my thread, and I can very gently pull my project out about 2 inches, but you can see that I still have my threads together. That's going to really be useful when I go to continue sewing. I'm not going to have to worry about holding onto those thread tails. So you can see this little box that I sewed right here. And now I'm going to take my binding on the right, and I'm just going to fold it straight up so that the right edges align in a perfect line. And the fold makes an exact 45-degree angle. And you'll just be able to see that you've made a really nice square fold there. After that fold is made, I kind of hold the little fold in place with my fingers. And now I'm going to come back down and make another little fold, which aligns with the top part of my quilt here. So there's the little fold in there. I'm going to line that with the top edge. And if I think about it, I may make it 1 hair's width hanging over that top edge. That seems to help me have a little bit more room to get a nice miter. You certainly don't want to go more than just a hair past the top edge. Now that I've got that fold in place, I can push this right back under and right up against my needle. I'm going to lower my presser foot, and I am now ready to sew right back onto my quilt. And I'm going to be right at my perfect seam allowance. I'm going to continue down and do that on all 4 corners. And let me show you the nice results you're going to get. Once that opens up for you, you're going to get a beautiful miter on the top. And once that gets pressed in, it's even going to miter perfectly on the back here for you too.